Hey, good morning, Tennessee. Good morning, America. Congratulations to Spain for winning the World Cup. I think we learned something in this World Cup. We learned that there are people all around the world that love America. Love America. They come here and they say, hey, this isn't at all what we've been told. We've been told that the military is patrolling the streets and Americans are hateful. But we found Americans to be loving. We found this to be a land of opportunity. We found this to be a lot of fun. And we love it here in America. So tell you what, why don't you, if you live in America and you hate it so much, instead of changing the political system here, why don't you go somewhere else where the political system is already to your liking? And the FIFA fans who loved America come back to America and play football, play soccer, whatever you want to call it, red, white, and blue. We'll just do an exchange. You don't love it here, you live here, leave. You love it here and you want to come back and you want to contribute to America, traditional American values, the free market system, work hard, play hard, make good money, you're welcome. So why don't we just do an exchange? Got a lot of thoughts today. How about the No Kings protest? Remember the No Kings protest? Well, Mandami, the mayor of New York, is appointing himself as the king of Netanyahu from Israel comes to New York. Tell you what, we're going to arrest him. So says the king. What about this argument of no kings in America? Well, King has appointed himself, Mandami has appointed himself the king of New York. Just saying. I got a question for AOC and Bernie Sanders. Can you define what a woman is? Can you define what freedom is? Can you define what America is? All these people running around saying corporate America is the evil one. Yeah, I had a fight with a corporation here just the other day. But I'm not saying the corporates are bad. I had a fight with Verizon on how I was treated. Still having a fight with them. But does that mean that I say that corporations are all bad, that Verizon is all bad and it should be dismembered and assumed by the government? Absolutely not. We can disagree with corporations and we can ask them to change their views and we can ask them to change the way they treat customers. Hint, hint. But that doesn't mean they're bad. That doesn't mean they need to be dissolved. I love America. Some people criticize me as being a cheerleader for America. Well, I'll do it every day. Hip, hip, hooray for America. I love America. I think we need to cowboy up America and stand firm on treating our neighbors like we'd like to be treated. Verizon. Treating one another right. Doing the right thing. Hard work means a reward. The government doesn't owe you anything. By the sweat of your brow and your ingenuity and creativity, you create businesses here in America, treat your customers well, and you're going to earn a return on investment. I saw a video, I was on Fox News, Martha McCallum was doing the interview, talking to a co-chair of the Democratic Socialist Party in New York, I believe it was, thinking that landlords should not earn a return on their investment. Well, I agree that we need to have quality places for people to live. But if you want quality places for people to live, government ownership is not a way to do it. Haven't we learned anything from history? Go to Venezuela, go to Cuba. Talk to people who have left there and come to the United States. They don't want to go back to Cuba, and they don't want America to become Cuba. They don't want America to become socialist and communist. Find me one person, and mosquitoes are out this morning. Find me one person that has lived there, that wants America to be like that, and I will play that interview. But I can find 10, 20, 100 people who hated it. You just go on the internet, go on YouTube, do a search. Former Cubans, former Venezuelans, do you like socialism? Do you like communism? And to a person, they're going to say, whatever you do, don't bring that to America. We came to America to leave that. We came to America because we want private ownership. We came to America because we want to work. We want to work. We want to work hard. And we want to do what we want with the money. The free enterprise system, as flawed as it is, as imperfect as it is, we're all imperfect humans. We make mistakes. I make mistakes. Large companies make mistakes. Verizon makes mistakes. AT&T makes mistakes. Cricket. Who can I pick on today? But that doesn't mean we're all bad. That doesn't mean the government needs to own everything. Landlords make mistakes. That doesn't mean we need to take them back and give it to the government. You want mistakes. Look at the fraud and graft and corruption going on in government. We need to doge the heck out of government. We need to look for the graft, fraud, and corruption, and we need to end it. There are people that are saying that if we found all the fraud in government, we would come close to balancing the budget. Isn't that a huge statement? That's a big problem for America, balancing the budget. Yet it's simply okay to just continue to pour money down a rat hole, to continue to pour money into government programs when we know that a lot of it is going to fraud and corruption and being sucked off by the criminal element. You hear that giant sucking sound in Washington, D.C., that's your money going down the drain. We need to doge. We need to do a hard analysis of government operations on every level. But the one that I think we need to do it the most on is the federal level. Didn't Doge and Elon Musk teach you anything? And all you could say was Elon Musk was bad. He has no right to go into, to do a deep dive into government operations. Yeah, but look what he found. Tell me that what he found was wrong. Tell me that what he found was a lie. You're killing the messenger. Are you stupid? Do you really want all this money to go to graft, fraud, and corruption? In California, they're looking at a Nick Shirley law to end investigative journalism. How's that working for you, California? And your mayor of California wants to become the president of the United States. Isn't it interesting that he is in the bottom of the polls of the survey of who's the top running candidates for the president of the United States? And he's been running. He's got an unannounced, unofficial candidate for president of the United States. And he's on the bottom of the list, the survey says. What's that tell you? It tells you that America doesn't want to be like California. Okay, America, time to play ball. Time to cowboy up. Do you want America to become Democrat socialist? Okay, we can talk about something else. ICE. Are you in support of what ICE is doing? ICE is enforcing the law. Do we want to be a nation of law and order? Do we want to be a nation where, well, I'm going to pick and choose which laws I support today? And today I don't like immigration laws. I know they were passed by Congress. I know they're the law of the land, but I don't like them. So we're not going to enforce them. We're going to tell, as a city council of city XYZ in America, Chicago, New York, for example, Los Angeles, we're going to tell our police not to enforce the laws. So you're a duly sworn law enforcement officer, taking an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States and to follow all laws, that you as the city council are telling your police officers to not enforce immigration laws. What's that put that poor police officer in a position where, okay, I'm supposed to enforce this law but not that law. I'm supposed to enforce the laws of Los Angeles or New York. I'm going to support the laws that King Mandami tells me to support and not do whatever else he has to. And I have to do that because he signs my paychecks. What about a Hawaii judge that says he's going to go against the U.S. Supreme Court decision? Where we can decide that we don't like who is in office, and so we're not going to do what they say, speaking about Donald Trump. Doesn't that create anarchy? Doesn't that create insurrection? Just saying. Not long ago, you called conservatives election deniers because we did not go by the vote of the people. Oh, Joe Biden was elected to office. You're an election denier.
You're an election denier. That the majority of America voted for Joe Biden to be in office, and you're fighting him. You're an election denier. Yet Donald Trump is elected, duly elected, by a majority vote of the people, electoral college and popular vote. And now you have good trouble. Now you have the people's revolution. We don't now follow the logic of this argument. Now the Democrat socialists are the election deniers. 4 years ago, we were the election deniers. Isn't it amazing that the terminologies and the arguments change depending who's in power? And when you're in power, everything's fine. Where the Democrats were in power, wonderful America. You have sky-high inflation, wide open borders, crime escalating, people being beaten to death with hammers in jewelry store robberies, and nothing to see here. The crime rate is going down, really. We're seeing video after video after video of violent crimes in your big cities. Donald Trump comes in, brings the National Guard into Washington, D.C., and the crime rate plummets. And he's the evil one? Democrat socialists, Democrat, I'll go talk slow and use small words. You are the election deniers. Yeah, because America elected Donald Trump into office. Oh, he's evil. He's going against the Constitution. He's ruining America. Stock market looks good. Overall economic health of America. Now, I know the feeling of a lot of Americans is the prices are too high. But which way do you want to go? We have a fork in the road. We can decide. We've got midterms coming up in the next general election. Some midterms are coming up. So you don't like the way that the economy is improving fast enough, and you just want to scrap it all, tear up the Constitution. What is it? Do away with the Senate, pack the Supreme Court, have the House of Representatives, the people's government, appoint the executive and appoint the Senate, I guess appoint the Supreme Court. You want to have this Politburo called the House of Representatives in America appoint all these people, appoint the executive, and you want to take that away from the American people. I thought power to the people meant giving more power to the people. Why would having the president, or whatever title we want to give him, you see that interview? These people just hate working, I guess, hate constitutional government, isn't it amazing that they want to take away the rights of the people and say they're giving more rights to the people by giving more rights to the government? How does that work exactly? Oh, we believe that the House of Representatives, the people's body, should govern America, should appoint the president, pack the Supreme Court, give more power to the government. Margaret Thatcher said this. I believe it was Margaret Thatcher. A government big enough to give you everything you want is strong enough to take everything you have. You don't believe me? Look at Venezuela, look at Cuba, look at North Korea, look at China, look at Russia, look at North Vietnam. Look at all the communist socialist countries. And for some strange reason, well, we'll do it right this time. We'll do it right in America. Yeah, we've learned from... Nobody's actually saying that. Isn't it amazing? I would love to talk to one of the socialist communists. In fact, send me an email, dave@streetlevelamerica.com. Tell me why it's going to work in America. Didn't work in Cuba, Venezuela, North Korea, North Vietnam, China, Russia. Look at the quality of life there. Look at the housing shortages there. Everything is owned and controlled by the government. The people have no freedom. Survey says that most Americans don't like how ICE is performing their duties, don't like the arrests, don't like how ICE is doing it. Even surveys from Fox News say that the majority of Americans surveyed, in 4,000 people surveyed, are not supportive of ICE and the ICE enforcement efforts. But isn't it amazing that on the comments on those stories, especially on Fox News, every single comment is, they didn't ask me, I don't agree with this, go ICE go, support and defend the Constitution, support and defend the laws. I looked at those comments on that Fox News story where they announced their poll that most Americans don't support ICE enforcement efforts. Every single comment, and there was tons of them. They didn't talk to me. I don't support this. I don't support this survey. I don't support the conclusions of this survey. ICE, enforce your law. We hire these men and women. They take an oath, right hand. They take an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States and to follow the laws of this country. They go out and do that, and they're the bad guy. America, what's going on here? If we don't like the laws, change the laws. Go to Congress and change the laws. Play the game by the rules of the game. You don't like the rules, change the rules. But going out in the field and say, okay, we're going to play a game of soccer, and I don't like that rule, so I'm not going to play by that rule. How would that go in a game of soccer? And the referee does a card on you, red card or whatever. Well, ref, I don't like that rule. That's not my rule. This is my game, but I don't like that rule, so I'm not going to play by that rule. What's the ref going to do? You're out. Because in order to play the game, so that everybody understands the rules, we have to play by a pre-selected, predefined, pre-verified, pre-agreed upon. These are the rules for the game of soccer. Okay? You can't just go out in the field and say, I don't like that rule. My game of soccer, I play it this way. My game of soccer, I get 3 points every time I kick a ball in the net. That's my game. That's how I want to play my game. And the ref's going to say, are you nuts? Same analogy applies to America. I don't like that law. I'm just not going to follow it. Got to play by the rules, man. You're in America illegally. And let's talk about Iran. What do we do about Iran? This is Trump's war. We've got a country yelling, and I know, prayers for the family. We are starting to get American casualties in the Middle East conflict, war, whatever you want to call it. Enforcement, secure the strait, whatever. We've got a country yelling death to Israel from the river to the sea, meaning no Israel. We've got a country that's yelling death to America for 47 years, and it's Trump's war. If we left the Middle East and said, okay, well, we're not going to do this anymore, what Iran is banking on is that we're going to get tired of American casualties and we'll leave. We won't have a stomach for it. They know, based on their previous history of America, that we don't have the stomach for long-term engagements. And so they know if they outlast us, that we'll just go back to business as usual. They'll go back to building bombs. They'll go back to terrorism. They'll go back to creating conflict on a global scale with terrorists. Donald Trump, thank God, is saying no. Every American president before me has kind of looked the other way, and there was this problem over there, but I'm just not going to deal with it because it's a politically sensitive issue. Donald Trump says, if they get a nuclear weapon, they're going to come after us, and you thought 9/11 was bad. End the threat, and end the threat now. Take the war to them on their turf and not fight it here in America. I agree with Donald Trump. I agree we need to stop Iran. I agree we need to have regime change in Iran. They are a blight on the Middle East. We need to empower the people to do regime change. If we do, Iran is killing their own people by the thousands. You think they're going to play fair? You think they're going to... How are they treating their women? How are they treating their kids? Birthright citizenship, another thing. A woman from Iran comes to America, has a kid. Kid has a U.S. passport. They take that kid back to Iran, and he is taught from infancy to hate America. He's got an American passport. We are incubating terrorists to come in, and hey, I got a passport. I'm an American citizen. I hate America. But as long as I smile at the checkpoint and come in and hold up my passport, I can come in and I can do all kinds of damage to America. Birthright citizenship. If we consider the Constitution a breathing document and take a look at what's going on in the world today and security threats against America, birthright citizenship, there are people creating an industry, coming to America, hatching kids, profiting from that, and these kids have passports and they can come back to America and do whatever they want because they're American citizens. Don't agree with birthright citizenship. You may not agree with me, but answer my argument, answer my concern that what about these people that come back to America, American certificate, with evil intents on America? They've been raised from an infant to hate this country and everything it stands for. My prayer is that when they come, they'll be like the FIFA fans and they go, wow, this isn't the place that they've been telling me about. This is kind of fun. I kind of like all the options. I kind of like the freedom thing. But we run the risk of them still holding allegiance to their country of direction, country of their country, even though they have an American citizenship because they were hatched in America. Maybe hatched is too strong a word, because they were born in America. They still hold allegiance to a foreign power. Yet we, because of our misplaced compassion, have given them a free ticket to come in and cause all kinds of death and destruction to America. And then we, after they've done their act, we hopefully catch them and we hopefully take away their American citizenship. But why do American citizens have to die? Birthright citizenship is not a way to go. Pass the Save America Act. American citizens should vote in American elections. We get back to the American citizenship thing. American citizenship is a valuable commodity. They're selling it on the world stage. Hey, birthright tourism. Come to America, have a kid, you have a passport. And hopefully the whole family can come in and live in America and vote in American elections. And we can turn America into Spain, Venezuela, Portugal, whatever. We can have, in one state, we can have a place where Sharia law exists. We can have a place where this exists. We can have a place where this culture exists. Borders have a reason. We need to keep America, America, and not let different countries. Do we want it to look like Europe at the end of the day, where we have different countries essentially, even if they're cul-de-sacs, even if they're the agreements in housing developments, Sharia laws in place here? Do we want to have no police zones where places where Sharia law exists, the police are afraid to go in there because they don't have backup, and the local politicians want the votes of the people in that county? And so, like Minnesota, where they court the vote, the Somali vote, because they want to win election. We need to have some guts. We need to have some backbone. We need to have some spine like Donald Trump and say, this is not good for America. It may cost me votes. It may cost me PR. It may cost me image. But I'm concerned long term. I'm concerned for the survival of the American way of life. And what is that? As we're talking about definitions, birthright citizenship, freedom, women. What is a woman who can have a baby? Like in a game of soccer. How about we have a set of rules, and how about we all play by the rules? Soccer players who came from overseas like to play by a set of rules. And they kind of like the rules that we have in America. They kind of like the culture we have in America. They like Starbucks. They like feasts. They like Texas barbecue. They like ranch salad dressing. Hey, America. Yeah, we like it here. Back to what I originally said. You don't like America, leave. How about we replace the people that hate America with the people overseas that love America, that want to be Americans in every sense of the word, raise their hand and support to defend the U.S. Constitution, play by our rules, give them a home. You hate it here? Leave. You love it here? Let's just do a swap. Voluntary swap. You don't like it here? Leave. You love it here? We'll just do a trade. And that way we'll have America inhabited by people who want to be here. What a concept. What do you think of the idea? I think it's a pretty good idea. Cowboy Up America, Rick Stieber, how you doing? I hope things are well in Oregon. I'm Dave Adams, and this is Street Level America. I love this country, and I'm willing every day to be a cheerleader for the red, white, and blue. I wear these shirts every day. I get some interesting looks like, Dave, how come you doing that every day? How come you being, Uncle Sam with a cowboy hat? Because I love this country. I love what it stands for, and I want to keep our conservative values, and I want to keep our Constitution. I do not want this country to become socialist, democratic, communist, Democrat socialists, or Sharia law. I like America like it is. You don't like it, leave. I'm Dave Adams, Street Level America, and that's what I think. Let's play by the rules.